Ask Reddit. What's normal to have but really strange if you have a lot of it? A personality. One is great, two or more, and things get confusing for everyone else. Refrigerator. What if you went to someone's house and they had like 10 fridges? That would be weird. Probably for storing all the severed heads. One for food, two for booze. Douche. One of the first times I visited my boyfriend, I was using his grandma's bathroom and opened the closet door to find what I can only hope was several years worth of douche. There were hundreds. I don't know why, I never asked, but I think it qualified as really strange. I'm fairly sure my ex-boyfriend was an infinite supply of douche. Clocks and mirrors. There was a really highly upvoted post here yesterday with a comment from someone who went into an elderly woman's house to work on plumbing or something, and there was this one room off to the side filled with over 50 clocks and mirrors hanging on the walls. That seems really weird. Slightly related note, I'm an electrician and I went into this lady's house to add a ceiling fan, and she had a room full of annoying things. Cats. I had two myself. One passed away recently. I love cats, by the way. It depends how disheveled and spinstery you are. If you met an old, creepy, poorly dressed woman who lives alone who doesn't have a few dozen cats, you'd probably think that was pretty strange. I have a good candidate. Christmas trees. 3 years ago, I attended a neighborhood party near Christmas time. This took place in an upper middle class suburb in the Bible Belt. The woman had 19 Christmas trees in her house. We're talking 3,400 square foot houses with at least one Christmas tree in each room. The upstairs was 5 bedrooms with 3 full bathrooms. Even the bathrooms had a tree. How do I know this? I was taken on a personal tour to gauge just how much she loves Christmas. Ironing boards. Like, imagine walking into a house where the walls and floors are ironing boards. That would be an interesting choice of decor. After a quick Google search, I cannot find one image of a house with ironing board walls. If Google doesn't have it, I don't think anyone does. Haha. Cell phones. It's normal when you have one, but someone carrying around a bunch of phones looks sketchy as hell. I carry 2, one personal phone, one work phone. If I had to carry any more, I'd feel weird though. Scalpel blades. If you have one, it could be for cutting paper. If you had a box of 100, you may have them for something weird. If by you mean hobby that requires precise cutting, then yes, it's weird. Almost everything. I can't think of anything that won't be weird to have large amounts of. Money. It's one thing we view as aspirational to have as much of it as possible. Everything else, there's a point you're weird. Money isn't an object though. It would be strange to have a huge number of actual dollar bills in your house. I feel like saying having money is the exception is a little bit like saying skill at playing the piano is the exception. Skilled piano players aren't weird. And I think, ultimately, both answers are inapplicable because ultimately skill and money aren't objects. Money can easily be turned into objects, which are also money, weirdly. But that's not what it is in general. Ammunition. I remember they busted some guy for something unrelated, but found tons of ammunition that he was hoarding. A man with 1,000 rounds of ammunition in his car. News media. So what? He had a couple of boxes of 22s. Porcelain dolls. I used to manage an antique store and people collect them. How creepy to be surrounded by porcelain dolls. My Nana, who would babysit me all the time as a small child, had an entire room full of porcelain dolls that she had spent decades collecting. They were creepy as idiots. All the same, I spent all my time at her house there because I was also quite fascinated by them, and she was always adding to the collection. Altars to the elder gods. I mean, 1 is fine, 2 might even work, but anything above that, and you're really starting to look like you're actually trying to avoid being devoured by the Dread One when he arises once more to usher in the next era of existence. It's weird. The truly devout have the honor of being the first ones devoured. I don't think it's weird, and many others don't, but I guess lots of silly people would. Knives. Everyone has and uses a bunch of knives. You like pocket knives because you appreciate the craftsmanship put into them and the usefulness, and suddenly you're a weirdo. Most home electronic devices. Yes, I do need 5 stereo receivers and 12 computers. Spaghetti strainers. Normal to have one, not normal to have a house full of them. even if there are a few situations in which they could come in handy. I'm sure if you build it up enough, the payoff for having a bunch of spaghetti strainers in your house would be amazing. You'd have to also have your own army of killer whale strippers as well, though. Cleaning products. A cupboard full? Fine. A garage full? Terrorist. I'd like to buy 100 bottles of bleach, please. Covers beard with hand. Blood. A few pints in your body is expected. Any more hiding on your person gets people asking questions. Lubricant. I mean, one bottle can last a long while, but having multiple bottles is kind of weird. I swear they were on sale at a ridiculous discount. Hair. It's normal for people to have on their heads, arm hair, leg hair, etc. But if you have an excess of hair, beyond just hairy, that would be quite abnormal, and indicative of a condition, perhaps. Pretty much any appliance. Microwaves, toasters, refrigerators, stoves, ovens, washing machines, dishwashers, dryers, or furniture. Why the hell did you get 9 couches? Bleach. 1 bottle, maybe 2, is totally normal. Any more than that, and it looks like you've got some crime scenes to clean up. Bleach. Sure, everyone has a bottle under the sink, but if you have a 55-gallon drum, oh no, that's way too much. A scar is normal to have, but having an excessive amount could be a cause for concern. Apparently kids. 5 is abnormally high. Don't people know you're not supposed to put all your eggs in one basket? Grandpa Henry's war memorabilia. 1 medal? No big deal. 10 medals, a flag, and a tailor custom sizing the inseam of your own memorial uniform? Big deal. Chihuahuas. 1 is fine. 12 could probably start an army, rebel, and take over your household. I actually like Chihuahuas, so I hope they'd be okay with me. Grapes. Like a bowl or two's worth of grapes is normal to have just laying around in the kitchen. But if you can't even get into your house because there's an ocean of grapes, then that is definitely weird. Deodorant antiperspirant. I keep accidentally buying the antiperspirant because it looks like my deodorant. Neither expire, so I don't bother returning them. Besides, someday I'll run into someone who could really use them for charity purposes. Canned food. A few good cans of spaghetti and baked goods, you're a normal person. Add a few hundred and you're a doomsday prepper. Cell phones. Because their only explanation is that you're doing some sort of shady business and want to stay under the radar. Apparently spare toothbrushes. A girl got pissed at me because I had 3 new toothbrushes. She was sure I was like a man whore or something. I mean, I am, but still. They were individually packed. I just have a habit of buying a toothbrush when I go to the store. Toasters. I don't know why, but immediately thought of the Cuckoo's Nest in Fallout New Vegas' Old World Blues DLC when I saw this question. Makeup. I'm told repeatedly by friends and family I have way too much makeup. Apparently, only a little collection of makeup is okay, but having a bay window ledge filled with makeup and a line of makeup bags underneath is a bit much. Genitalia. Almost everyone I know has at least 1 set, but if I ever meet someone who collects them, it gets awkward fast. Clocks. 1 for every couple rooms, sure, maybe even a watch. But when you have a room full, everyone starts to question your sanity and call you a serial killer. Dildos. I mean, 1, 2, even like 5 or 6 and we're cool. But if you open the door to a walk-in closet full of dildos, I'm gonna think you're a little strange. Kinky, but strange. Has anyone said cats? Sure, 2 or 3 are normal. 5 is explainable, double digits is strange. Bathroom space. Tiny bathrooms are sad. Larger bathrooms are great. Bathrooms the size of an aircraft hangar would be very strange. Dentures. I recently quit my job to take care of my grandmother full-time, work from home now, and have started to clean out all her drawers and stuff. It is kind of like old age nesting. She is 88 and wants to get her house in order, and I am the lucky one who gets to help. Anyway, she has 22 pairs of dentures stored in old plastic Charmin boxes that fill up the top drawer of her dresser. She also has several hundred old used corn dog sticks. Personal lubricant. It's good to have some around, but if you have 20 bottles of it, that's kind of sketchy. What about cats? A lot of people have 1 or 2 cats, but then there's people who have like 6 cats and are kind of weird. How about crucifixes? Perfectly normal to have one, even one per room. 5 over the mantle is making a strong statement. But picture this. I drive 9 hours across state lines to help a friend move out of his mother's house. We packed up that night, and I try to get to sleep on the couch, under the watchful gaze of Jesus and his army of clones, while she watches, in the blink of an eye, in the same room. Some Catholics collect them, especially different cultural interpretations of them, but I'm picturing like 200 cheap plastic classroom crosses just being awkward. I once almost died on a school retreat because nobody told me the crucifix had a glow-in-the-dark Jesus on it. So I turned out the light and thought it was a glowing alien ghost, whatever, reaching to me. Selfies. It's fine to take a quick snap to document the moment. It's not fine when the moment consists of you taking 20 retakes and finding the perfect filter. Eggs. 1 to 2 dozen eggs is alright, but just don't straight up fill your fridge to the brim with eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and say A1 steak sauce. It's pretty normal to have a bottle, but if you've got a whole shelf dedicated to it, I'm gonna have some questions. Hands. None. Life has been tough for you. 1. Well, you can still perform most tasks. 2. You're a normal human. 3 or more, get out of here, freak show. Testicles. 1 is like, oh man, that's terrible. 2 is totally normal, but any more than that, and oh, you're some kind of freak. Operating systems on one hard drive. Windows 10, Windows 7, Ubuntu, 14.10, Mint 18. That's just wrong. Don't do that. Paper towels. When we're full up, there's probably 20 six-packs in the garage. That will last us 3 months typically. Had a nurse come from home care recently and she was shocked.